During our family trip, my daughter-in-law shouted at the hotel receptionist, "Do not talk to the old woman. She's just the help." And my own son laughed. She had no idea who I really was, and what happened next changed everything. Stay with me until the end. I am 72 years old, and when my son Jay invited me on a trip to Miami, I thought this was my chance to finally feel close to him again after years of distance. I packed carefully, choosing clothes that made me feel dignified and hopeful, telling myself this would be a fresh start. The drive was long and quiet. Jay talked excitedly with his wife Valentina about spas, rooftop dinners, shopping, and parties. They spoke as if I were invisible. Every time I tried to join the conversation, Valentina answered politely but coldly, and Jay kept his eyes on the road. I ignored the discomfort because I wanted peace. When we arrived at the hotel, my heart swelled with quiet pride. The coastal paradise resort was more than a building to me. It was my life, my legacy. My late husband passed away when Jay was just a boy, and I built everything alone, starting with a tiny bed and breakfast, cleaning rooms, answering phones, sleeping only a few hours a night for years, until it grew into something beautiful. Inside the lobby, the front desk manager, Jasmine, recognized me immediately. Our eyes met, and she smiled with respect. I gently shook my head, asking her not to say anything. Jay asked for the penthouse. Jasmine explained it was unavailable, and that is when Valentina exploded, her voice sharp, demanding, and cruel, drawing attention from everyone around us. I stepped forward, trying to calm her, and she spun toward me and shouted, "Do not speak! Don't even look at them! Just ignore this old woman. She's just the help we brought along." The lobby fell silent. My face burned, and before I could react, my son laughed. Not nervously, not uncomfortably, but genuinely amused. "Mom, go sit down somewhere," Jay said, smiling. "Let us handle this." In that moment, something inside me broke. I walked away with my suitcase, head held high, while Valentina continued yelling behind me. In the elevator, Jasmine looked at me, waiting for permission to act, but I stayed silent. That night, I stared out at the ocean, unable to sleep, feeling smaller than I ever had. The next morning, Jay knocked on my door and casually told me to watch the kids while they went to the spa. No apology, no explanation, just expectation. At breakfast, Valentina corrected how I held my fork, snapped at staff, and told me not to touch my granddaughter because I was embarrassing. By the pool, my granddaughter asked me if I cleaned houses because her mother said I was poor. My grandson laughed and said I made up stories about being important. My heart shattered, not from the insult, but from knowing their mother taught them this. Later, that afternoon, I walked the property and overheard Jay and Valentina laughing in a cabana, talking about my death, about putting me in a home, about waiting for me to disappear. Jay told her I was delusional, that I lived off charity. That was the moment I stopped hoping. I called Jasmine and asked her to prepare security. That evening, I spent quiet time with my grandchildren, building sandcastles, laughing, hugging them tightly, knowing it might be the last time. When Jay and Valentina returned, drunk and carefree, I stood in the doorway and told them they would be checking out in the morning. Valentina screamed. Jay laughed, thinking I was confused. Then I said the truth. I own this hotel. Jasmine entered with security and confirmed it. Founder owner, chief executive of all Coastal Paradise properties. Valentina went pale. Jay dropped the papers in his hands, a list of every dollar I had ever given them. I told them all expenses would be charged, the money was finished, the support was over. Jay begged, Valentina cried, but it was done. That night, I slept peacefully for the first time in years. I learned that being alone is not loneliness, and respect is never optional, not even from family. They thought they taught me a lesson, but I finally learned my worth.